Hello everyone and welcome to the third Singapore Open, which we're bringing to you here from Jurong Spring Community Club or Center today, I believe. And today it'll be me, Isaac Lam, and my fellow friend here, Alan Chia, who will be commentating this series, since our usual commentators, Matthew Hui and Justin Locke, are both on the field today hoping to secure their World's invitations, or I believe in the case of Justin, a Day 2 invite to the World Championships. So yeah, we'll be the ones casting here today.
As for today, the Singapore Open 3, it will be the last biggest tournament in Singapore, and the stakes are actually very high, as most of our Singapore players, some of them haven't actually qualified for World yet, and this 130 CP will be very, like, it will matter a lot to them.
Indeed, this Singapore Open is the last big significant event that we'll be having in our local Singaporean VGC circuit. So a lot of our locals here hoping to secure their World's invite now, because really if they don't manage to bring home the CP they need this time round, they probably won't have much of a shot at Worlds at all.
Yes.
Unless they perhaps plan to fly to Hong Kong, which is I believe the only other accessible tournament which would help bring them closer to their World's invitations.
This is also a good platform to actually train up for the Hong Kong regions that will be coming up.
Yeah, and okay, it looks like we're actually going to jump into our first game today, which is between Ryan Chiam and Yoshi-Hugh. Ryan got a bit of on the line here. I believe he secured his World's invitation already,
Yes.
but definitely looking good to make up for his blunder the last time he sat on the stream table here at Jurong Spring in, I believe, a regional championship last year.
Yes.
Whereas Yoshi-Hugh, relatively new face and bringing to the table a very interesting team. I believe all of his Pokemon are of the water type.
Ryan here running a team of Porygon Z, Snorlax, Tapu Lele, Tapu Fini, Arcanine, and Aerodactyl.
Ryan's team, I believe, is draws inspiration from a team that was quite successful in the Melbourne International.
Yes, from Daniel Parks that actually made it to the top 32, if I'm not wrong.
Quite unorthodox in the way that it relies on Porygon Z, Pokemon not that commonly used in VGC, but definitely not quite as striking as what we see Yoshi-Hugh bringing here to the field.
Yoshi-Hugh team is actually based on the Double Duck and perhaps the Destiny Bond from the Sharpedo. But however, it's interesting to note that Gastrodon might have a Storm Drain to actually draw away water attacks, which I assume that Yoshi-Hugh has on all of his Pokemon. And
Yeah, I'm definitely looking
draw
forward.
away the water attack from his own Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see what he's up to there, because using Gastrodon on the Model Water team tends to be rather counterintuitive since it restricts the options you have. Like, for example, Araquanid hits really hard with Liquidation and its Hydro Vortex, but if Gastrodon's on the field next to it, it won't be able to execute it properly. Hope Yoshi-Hugh is aware of that when he's playing his game, because that could be very significant. Looks like we're having a bit of a technical difficulty here, but oh, okay, we're back. I really wonder what Yoshi-Hugh is up to though, since we don't really see an option for Trick Room on his team, despite several of his members being rather
And now
slow.
we see that Yoshi-Hugh leading with the Double Duck with Pelipper and Golduck, while Ryan will lead with the Aerodactyl and Porygon Z.
Both teams here choosing to opt for their most safe and secure fast modes really. Ryan Chiam bringing the backbone of his team, which is the Aerodactyl and Porygon Z combination, while Yoshi-Hugh going for probably the only duo on his team that really makes sense together in Pelipper and Golduck.
Ryan right now would want to perhaps sky drop one of Yoshi-Hugh's Pokemon into the air so that Porygon can safely set up the conversion Z into whatever type it may want to become.
It's true. I think we're gonna have to see Ryan choose to play the defensive here, since Yoshi-Hugh has the weather advantage and has the momentum in his favor with Golduck exerting pressure. And yep, we do see Ryan go for the protect there as expected. Probably going for Tailwind with Aerodactyl then, I would think, to try and give his Porygon Z a bit more of an advantage here.
No, I would say that Ryan will go for the sky drop onto the Golduck so that Porygon Z can set up the conversion next turn and set up the Tailwind after that, because even with Tailwind, Porygon Z won't be able to outspeed a Swift Sim Golduck in the rain.
I believe that depends actually on how much speed both trainers invest in their Pokemon, because I think Porygon Z naturally outspeeds Golduck. Base 90 versus 85, but oh, you're right, we are going to see Sky Drop and going to lift Golduck up into the air. Porygon Z not taking too much from the Hydro Vortex thanks to the Protect, and Ryan's Sky Drop actually allowing him to dodge a Scowl from Pelipper.
Yes, and now this turn, because Golduck is the fastest thing on the field, Golduck won't be able to attack this turn, and because Porygon Z is above 50% health, Pelipper won't be able to brine Porygon Z for the guaranteed KO.
That is significant, though I'm not really sure how much Hurricane would actually do to Porygon Z at this range. I guess that for Ryan Chiam can go for the conversion play, which I think he has to make, because if he chooses to expose Paragon Z, he might risk it being knocked out by Hurricane, I think. Although that we really have to see how that goes, because that depends on how Paragon Z is trained. And
Yoshi does go for the Scowl onto the Paragon Z, boosted in the rain. It does take out the Paragon Z, showing that Ryan's Paragon Z is not actually very bulky.
I believe we also saw there that Paragon Z is actually slower than Yoshiyu's Pelipper, which is quite a surprise there, given how much higher Paragon Z's natural base speed is. I don't think Ryan Chiam was expecting that at all. And yeah, we do see Scowl from Yoshiyu's Pelipper, which is significant because that means it probably doesn't have Brine, which is probably what Ryan Chiam was counting on there, since Hurricane would have done less damage than Scowl.
Right now Snorlax hits the field, and both of Yoshiyu's Pokemon can't really do much to Snorlax because Golduck has already burned its Z move, and Snorlax is relatively bulky by nature, and Aerodactyl can actually go for a Rock Slide to do a lot of damage to the Pelipper and take it out in 2 turns.
Yeah, Snorlax coming in here is definitely good for Ryan Chiam. Snorlax tends to be a great Pokemon to have in a matchup against the Double Duck combination, especially with Golduck's Z move burnt. Since with Recycle and its natural bulk, it's usually able to stall out the rain turns. Oh, but I think Yoshi recognizes that and switches out his Pelipper, hoping to preserve it for later, and bringing in the offensive behemoth that is Araquanid, which actually makes things a lot harder for Snorlax here, since Araquanid's water bubble ability, boosting the power of its water type moves, is going to be doing a lot more damage than.
Unfortunately for Ryan, his Rock Slide missed both of Yoshiyu's Pokemon. However, Snorlax does get off a stockpile with and boosting both of his defenses.
Ryan Chiam running a rather interesting Snorlax here, then opting to run Stockpile, which I have to imagine would go over the place of what's traditionally a high horsepower or perhaps the Wild Charge, regardless Snorlax's second offensive move. Which means his set probably is one more inclined to more oriented towards boosting in the long term rather than perhaps setting up an offensive sweep early on. And I think that actually puts him in a much better position here, since he will have he's in a better position to stall out the rain and kind of neuter Yoshiyu's team's offensive pressure right now.
Yes, Golduck does go for the Scowl onto the Aerodactyl slot, which is intercepted by the Tapu Fini, and Tapu Fini takes it relatively well. Araquanid just go for the lunge onto the Snorlax, perhaps wanting a special attack drop onto the Snorlax. So Snorlax does go for the Recycle, thinking that Yoshiyu may double target into the Snorlax.
Lunge is another very interesting option we see here on Araquanid. We don't usually see Lunge much anymore after players started switching to Bug Bite to kind of counter the surge in the 50% HP restoring berries. If Bug Bite actually went off there, that would have been really bad for Ryan Chiam, but seeing Lunge now, perhaps that makes him feel a bit more comfortable in this position, since he doesn't need to worry about Araquanid sniping away his 50% berry on his Snorlax, and that allows him to play a bit more freely with Recycle.
Yoshi does go for the Hydro Pump into the Snorlax slot. However, with the +1 defense boost, it doesn't even take it to 50%.
Snorlax taking like a champ after the defense boost, not even taking, I think, half under the rain. And Ryan Chiam's Tapu Fini takes out Golduck with a Moonblast there, which I believe indicates that Ryan Chiam is probably running a Choice Specs Tapu Fini. The defense boost really coming in clutch here for Ryan. We see Liquidation also doing, I think, less than half, or perhaps just around half, to Snorlax. Oh, but Belly Drum comes off now, and that's going to bring Snorlax, I believe, down to the red again, with no berry to heal it back up to heal its HP back up anymore.
The rain does stop, however, you will assume that Yoshi will want to switch in Pelipper in again to get back its rain and boost its water damage with Araquanid. And Tapu Fini can't really KO the Pelipper or the Araquanid, even it is boosted by the Choice Specs. Snorlax is really in a very difficult position right now.
Yeah, although things are looking bleak for Snorlax though, I wouldn't rule Ryan Chiam out just yet. He's got Tapu Fini in a position where it's relatively safe. It's not going to be taking too much damage from both Pelipper and Araquanid, and Ryan Chiam actually does have Aerodactyl in the back, so if he's able to bring Aerodactyl into a position where Yoshi perhaps doesn't have Tailwind up and has both Araquanid and Pelipper significantly weakened by Tapu Fini, he might be able to claw his way back still. Although then again he has to be wary about White Guard, which both of Yoshiyu's current Pokemon on the field could pack. But perhaps Yoshi might not even be running White Guard, since although Pelipper and Araquanid both have the option of carrying it, we do see players choose to forego it for other offensive or support options fairly often. So Ryan Chiam definitely going to have to sacrifice Snorlax, bring in Aerodactyl and hope for the best.
Pelipper does go for the Hurricane, which is 100% under the rain to take out Snorlax this turn.
Have we seen Pelipper actually switch moves so far?
Currently, it has only shown Scout and Hurricane.
Yeah, but we haven't actually seen it switch moves within its time on the
judging
field,
from
right?
its damage on the Porygon Z earlier, I would assume that it might be Specs.
I'm not sure about that, but I'm thinking it could be Scarfed as well, simply because of how it outsped Ryan's Porygon Z early on in the match.
Or perhaps.
Yeah. Although we'll probably find out this turn, which would be very, very useful information for Ryan Chiam, since that completely rules his game plan of perhaps setting up Porygon Z and setting up Porygon Z with Aerodactyl out the window, really. Yeah, so basically right now, if Yoshihiro has White Gun on any of his two Pokemon, he's in a really safe position and is probably going to be able to close out the game. Or perhaps if his Pelipper is holding the Choice Scarf, as we speculated, this could happen. Oh, we see a Raccoon going for the Protect here. And what is Pelipper going to do? Aerodactyl going to go for the Rock Slide. Still not really telling us much though, since I believe Aerodactyl would still outspeed even Choice Scarf Pelipper. Yeah, naturally. And Pelipper going to go for the Hurricane. Oh. Did it go for the Hurricane last turn?
Yes.
It did. Still not really ruling out anything. Not what Ryan Chiam needs at this point.
I would say that it is not Scarf, as Scarf Pelipper will most likely outspeed the Aerodactyl.
I believe Pelipper has a 60 base speed, right? I'm not really sure, but I remember using Scarf of Bomber Snow back in VGC 12 and 2013, where we ran a Choice Scarf on the Bomber Snow and it was still slower than Aerodactyl because Aerodactyl's natural base speed is just so blisteringly fast. Well, regardless, Yoshihiro reveals his last mon to be Tapu Fini, and not a good position at all for Ryan Chiam here, since Yoshihiro's Tapu Fini is sitting very, very healthily, whereas Ryan Chiam's one is significantly weakened. I believe that would be Ryan's Tapu Fini is down to the point where I think a single Moonblast might be able to pick it off. We do see Ryan going for the Moonblast here. Useful information for him, perhaps knowing that his own Tapu Fini would be faster than Yoshihiro's. And yeah, we are going to see a Moonblast come off. This probably would give us a very good indication of what item Yoshihiiro is running on his Tapu Fini. Moonblast not doing as much as I would have expected, I think.
Yoshihiiro is running a Calm Mind Tapu Fini and not a Choice Specs one.
Yeah, you probably have to imagine it's not a Choice Specs Tapu Fini with that damage done. So, yeah.
It might also be a bulky variant of Tapu Fini. It could be the 50% Berry Fini also. But judging from the damage that Ryan Chiam did, a good 50%, it really makes me wonder what kind of Tapu Fini is Yoshihiro running.
Yeah, that was quite a lot of damage there from that Moonblast. Much more than you would expect, even coming off a Choice Specs Tapu Fini. Ryan Chiam's probably going to have to rethink his game plan, since he seems like he was thrown off by Yoshihiro's relatively unorthodox strategies here.
And like, I think he didn't expect the Pelipper to outspeed his Porygon Z that turn.
Yeah, that's quite a surprise to me as well. I was expecting Porygon Z to outspeed Pelipper, even if it was running a slightly bulkier spread, since I personally would treat Pelipper as a very important benchmark when EVing defensive setup Pokemon in this format, since being able to outspeed and inflict damage onto Pelipper is always very useful in denying it Tailwind. Though Ryan Chiam's Porygon Z clearly not up to the task here, so we'll have to see how he chooses to switch things up here.
Perhaps Ryan Chiam might want to pivot around his Snorlax, because even at +1, he's taking a lot of damage from the Yoshihiro's Pokemon, and if he actually caught the Yoshihiro's move properly, it might just recycle all the damage back from what he has taken. And Yoshihiro actually didn't reveal the Bug Bite onto Arcanate, which makes the play relatively safe.
That's true. Snorlax probably Ryan Chiam's best out here, since it seems like his Porygon Z isn't packing Trick Room, so he has no real way of directly countering the speed advantage that Rain gives Golduck on Yoshihiro's team. Quite a tricky position for him though, having to maneuver Snorlax into a favorable position. Snorlax, although is a relatively solid counter check to Rain teams, it's by far not an easy Pokemon to play into such positions, and it's usually only used by players in rather desperate situations, like I think we're about to see here. Although, yeah, it's quite tough for Ryan, because none of his Pokemon look like they particularly enjoy sitting in front of the Double Duck combination. With that little tidbit of information we have now that Porygon Z is slower than Pelipper. Tapu Fini is probably his best option next to Snorlax if we were to go for a defensive safe lead that could take on Double Duck. But Tapu Fini itself, although is able to comfortably trade hits, it's not really a Pokemon you want to face off against Double Duck at the same time, because it doesn't really exert enough offensive pressure even with the choice specs.
Uchiu does it with the same, and same goes for Ryan. However, this time what will both players do? And after knowing what kind of Pelipper and Golduck Uchiu is running, Ryan Chiam will most likely make a different play from game 1.
He's probably more aware now that Pelipper exerts a lot more offensive pressure thanks to having Scout over Brine. Never thought I'd really hear myself say that, but I maybe Aerodactyl will have to go for the Tailwind this time to get the speed advantage up on Porygon Z.
And if that's the case, Ryan Chiam might actually Sky Drop the next turn after setting up Tailwind, as Aerodactyl will be faster than Golduck.
That's true. We do see him going for the Protect here, although Uchiu chooses to go for Protect as well. And yep, we do see Tailwind come off now. But will Uchiu choose to counter it with his own Tailwind? No, we see a Scout going off onto the Aerodactyl.
But Aerodactyl will survive with a Sash, barring a burn.
Yeah, this burn could be big here. Is it gonna get the burn?
Which doesn't happen. And now both of Ryan's Pokemon is Aerodactyl is faster than the Golduck, and with Golduck already burned the Protect. Ryan can actually safely Sky Drop the Golduck and go for a conversion.
Yeah, Ryan very fortunate here, playing into the position that he needed to secure at this point, since had that 30% chance of a burn kicked in here, Aerodactyl would have been down and his position would be a lot less favorable.
Yes, especially Golduck hasn't burned the Z move yet.
Although what's important here now is that Ryan Chiam's Porygon Z is able to outspeed Uchiu's Golduck, since Hydro Vortex here would take out the Porygon Z for sure, but we choose to see Golduck retreat instead and into Tapu Fini. This could be pretty much a free setup for Ryan if Uchiu doesn't play this turn out properly. We're gonna see Skydrop come off. Is it gonna pick Tapu Fini?
Yes.
Yep.
You'll go into the Golduck slot.
So Uchiu not really losing out that much here, but at the same time not really gaining anything since he's lost Tapu Fini to the Skydrop. And yeah, we're gonna see Ryan Chiam boost up with, I think, Z conversion here. I don't think we're gonna see Pregnant Blitz now.
Yes, it does go for the Z conversion, presumably into the electric type.
I think we're about to find out.
Yes,
yep, it's the electric type.
And now it will come. But Uchiu does go into the Aerodactyl slot, making Porygon Z, setting Porygon Z up for free essentially, and now Porygon Z can exert a lot of pressure onto Uchiu as the Porygon Z is electric type now, and with adaptability, it will do a lot of damage to all of Uchiu's Pokemon.
That's true, but I think Ryan still has to be careful here because Tapu Fini actually is slower than Aerodactyl, so after the Skydrop goes off, Tapu Fini is going to be able to make a move, and I think Ryan might not even have the option of damaging Tapu Fini this turn, since his Porygon Z might be faster than Aerodactyl, unless it's trained to underspeed Aerodactyl.
It doesn't really matter because at this point, if Ryan Chiam goes for the Thunderbolt onto either Pokemon, and either Pokemon will actually die because of the +1 adaptability.
Oh, but we do see that his Porygon Z is actually trained to be slower than Aerodactyl even after the boost, and takes out Pelipper with a Thunderbolt in one hit, furthering my suspicions that it might actually be a choice Pelipper and not a Focus Sash one.
I would say it's a Specs one. However, unfortunately for Ryan, the Moonblast does get a special attack drop onto the Porygon Z, but Ryan Chiam still has the adaptability on the Porygon Z, which still boosts the Thunderbolt damage.
Really unfortunate there, Ryan kind of losing the main reason he went for conversion, which was to boost his damage output. But at the same time, not too bad since now his Porygon Z is the electric type and will get the same type attack boost off of its Thunderbolt.
He still has the defensive boost from the
and he still has adaptability on its side, so not totally bad here. I think Thunderbolt would actually be enough to take out both Tapu Fini and Araquanid here still.
Araquanid is also threatened by the Rock Slide. The Rock Slide pressure from the Aerodactyl.
Have to imagine here that Uchiu is, Ryan's consciously aware of the possibility of White Gut coming off and isn't going to be so recklessly exerting Rock Slide pressure here. I think we're going to see Skydrop onto Tapu Fini here.
I would assume at this point that Araquanid doesn't carry the White Gut, as it has shown to have Lunge, Protect, and the Liquidation. Running both Protect and White Guard on the same set might be very risky.
Totally possible, though I think a lot of players have done that before, including Gavin Michaels and his winning regionals teams. And okay, so Ryan Chiam chose to take out Tapu Fini instead of going for the Skydrop onto it and taking out Araquanid. And that actually has Golduck in for free now in the rain, so it still holds the speed advantage here, and it's still going to be exerting a lot of damage out with its boosted water type moves. I think Ryan Chiam has to burn a turn of protect here to kind of keep his Porygon Z safe right now. Otherwise, Godak might actually take it out. And I'm not really sure how many more turns of rain there are left. You have to imagine it's ending soon. Only Ryan Chiam really knows, since he can check his DS for that. Well, he can't. Or since you know that there is that distinct possibility now that Yochihyu's Pelipper was perhaps carrying the Damp Rock, since we saw that it wasn't a sash, and we still don't really know what its item is. Ryan Chiam going for the protect here. I'm going to assume he's trying to burn out the rain.
Hydro Vortex does come out.
That would take out Aerodactyl here, since I think Aerodactyl has been brought down to its sash.
Already 1 HP, yes.
But
Godak does go for it. You presume that it went into the Porygon Z slot because you wouldn't want to burn your Z move on a 1 HP Pokemon.
yeah, but in that case, I don't think it's going to take Porygon Z out, since we've seen that it...
As it still had the defensive boost from the Z conversion, and it does go into protect, which will only do 25% of the total damage.
Not even close there. And we're going to see Aerodactyl go for the Rock Slide here. That's going to do quite a bit of damage to Araquanid.
Assert the Rock Slide pressure. Will he get a flinch onto the Araquanid?
He does get the flinch.
And now the rain stopped. Now Godak is... Now, both of Chiam's Pokemon is faster than both of Yochiyu's Pokemon. And another Rock Slide will guarantee take out the Araquanid, and the Thunderbolt will safely take out the Godak.
Really quite an amazing turn of events here, since now instead of... I mean, in Game 1, we saw Ryan Chiam's lead of Porygon Z and Aerodactyl get completely steamrolled by Yochihyu's offensive options. Well, in this case, Ryan Chiam seems to be steamrolling Yochihyu's team with only Porygon Z and Aerodactyl.
I'll say Yochiyu played too safely on turn 1 where he went for the protect on the Godak, and assuming that he actually double target into the Aerodactyl slot, it will make things a lot more easier for him, as one, Chiam will not be able to sky drop and putting out Yochiyu's and will take out Yochiyu's Pokemon out of commission and wouldn't be pressured by the Rock Slide.
Yeah, on hindsight here, we really see that actually the game defining factor was probably the sky drop option from Aerodactyl, which really threw Yochiyu's momentum off and allowed Ryan Chiam to pick his targets very, very safely each turn.
Yes, and this shows that it's a very clean set from Ryan here, even with the special attack drop on the Porygon Z, and showing that the power of Z conversion adaptability Porygon Z.
Quite an incredible comeback here, and perhaps making me mince my words when I said that Snorlax was his best option against this team. Porygon Z definitely a very powerful option if he's able to set it up properly, and this game we saw that he has the options that would allow him to set up properly. Yochiyu probably going to have to adapt going into this third game we're about to have here, and prioritize taking out the Aerodactyl a bit sooner, and so as to prevent it from sky dropping so freely, I guess.
I would say that Yochiyu best out against the Porygon Z will be the Gastrodon. However, being a Gastrodon on a mono water team is, like you said, is a very counterproductive kind of thing. But however, he might actually choose to boost the Gastrodon up and sweep with Gastrodon.
But I don't think sweeping with Gastrodon would really be a very safe option when Ryan has revealed already that he has the Belly Drum Snorlax. So that would make a boost. That would if the game came down to get perhaps Yochiyu trying to boost up his Gastrodon to boost up his Gastrodon's defense, it's effectively neutered just by Belly Drum from Snorlax.
I wouldn't say boost the defense. I would say boost the attack. And then in the rain, Snorlax is only relatively bulky, and Snorlax's special defense is actually not that fantastic as you would think. And we'll be going into this game 3 of round 1, and Ryan Chiam leading with the same Pokemon with Aerodactyl and Porygon Z, while Yochiyu switches up the lead with Godak and Sharpedo.
Godak and Sharpedo, very interesting duo here, since that doesn't set up the rain, and which means that Godak is actually going to be slower than Aerodactyl here. Really have to wonder what Yochiyu is up to, since Sharpedo isn't a Pokemon we see at all in VGC much these days.
I mean, I would say that my assumption will be that Godak goes for the protect this turn. Sharpedo might be carrying the sash and sets up the rain dance, and then after that the next turn he'll go for Destiny Bond, which if either of Chiam's Pokemon kills Sharpedo, it will take it out with it, and Godak will have the speed and offensive pressure by the Hydro Vortex in the rain. Destiny
Bond definitely the most scary option here, which we are inclined to believe makes the most sense in terms of justifying Sharpedo's usage here. Although Sharpedo does get access to Aqua Jet as well, which I wouldn't rule out completely, since that is one of the moves that differentiate it from, say, Araquanid or any other physical water type attackers.
Yochiyu chooses to switch out the Godak and sends in the Pelipper to get out the rain to boost Sharpedo's water damage.
I think we're going to see an offensive move from Sharpedo here, just kind of wonder what right now, or perhaps even a Protect to get the speed boost up.
Yeah, Sharpedo does go for the Protect.
Yeah, okay,
to get the assumed speed boost out. Aerodactyl goes for the Sky Drop onto the the Godak slot, and Porygon Z sets up the Z conversion.
Quite an advantageous turn for Ryan here since he is able to set up the Z conversion. Although that will leave him open to Sharpedo's attack next turn, I believe, since Sharpedo and Porygon Z are going to be matching speed boost this turn thanks to conversion and Sharpedo's ability speed boost.
Yes, but unfortunately for Uchiyo, Ryan Chiam does get the defensive boost from the Z conversion while he only get the speed. And right now, Godak, Pelipper can't protect from the drop that Sky Arrow from Aerotactile. Porygon Z can freely Thunderbolt into that slot and take out Godak, take out the Pelipper, sorry. And with Pelipper out, Chiam might actually store out the rain just like last game, and without the boosted damage from the rain, Uchiyo might not be in a very
regardless
very
though, very interesting turn there last turn. I think we just saw Sharpedo outspeed Aerodactyl, and as a result, Waterfall wasn't able to connect since Aerodactyl was still up in the air. I think Uchiyo just kind of forgot his speed tiers over there. Not realizing perhaps that his Sharpedo would be able to outspeed Aerodactyl after a boost. Although that does certainly mean for Ryan Chiam that Uchiyo's Sharpedo is faster than his Porygon Z, even naturally at +1, though that doesn't really matter anymore since Sharpedo is now at double speed.
However, right now Uchiyo has to make the right call here. It's a very relatively safe read that Ryan Chiam will protect and Tailwind with Aerotactile to get up the speed so that Porygon Z can outspeed the Godak to take it out. However, Uchiyo does have the option to double target into the Aerotactile and prevent it from getting up the Tailwind.
We've seen, Sharpedo will now outspeed Aerodactyl, and I'm quite sure that Godak will as well. I think Uchiyo can quite safely double target that slot since if he doesn't choose to go for it, he really has no other option here. And I think Ryan Chiam's going to go for that Tailwind play. Sharpedo going to go for Waterfall onto Aerodactyl. If Uchiyo chose to double target Aerodactyl, this would be really good for him right now. Is he going to? Oh, but wait, we see Hydro Vortex, so I think he's going to go into Porygon Z.
I mean, if it goes into the Aerotactile slot, it will be a very fantastic play. However, burning your Z move on a 1 HP Pokemon is, like I said before, it's not very optimal.
Not totally like incomprehensible since there is the possibility that Aerodactyl has Protect and Uchiyo might want to guarantee that knockout, but we do see it go into the Porygon Z instead, which is, as we've seen before, not going to do too much damage. And I think that's going to allow Ryan to set up Tailwind as he does here.
Yes.
Waterfall's flinch chance not really coming through for Uchiyo here.
However, with the stacking speed boost that Sharpedo is getting every turn, Sharpedo is, I think Sharpedo will be still faster than the Porygon Z, and as you said, the Waterfall might just flinch the Porygon Z, and Godak might just safely take out the Porygon Z.
We can't even rule out the possibility here that Waterfall might actually knock out Porygon Z as well. Sharpedo does have a significantly solid base attack, but
Porygon Z has +1 defense.
We're gonna see Protect here instead. Not what I was expecting to see, and a double Protect actually.
Uchiyo wanting to store out the Tailwind, and Aerotactile does go for the safe Sky Drop onto the Sharpedo.
I'm not sure stalling out is exactly what Uchiyo wants to be doing here though, since I think Rain is gonna end this turn, or perhaps the next turn. Still one more turn left, okay, then that's makes a bit more sense here. Though Ryan, I believe, can just protect his Porygon Z to burn the last turn of Rain out.
However, Aerotactile will most likely go down this turn, and Ryan can switch in either of his back Pokemon, presumably the Tapu Fini or the Snorlax, as both of them doesn't take a lot of damage from both Sharpedo and Godak.
Yeah, both Tapu Fini and Snorlax will be Pokemon that really enjoy the situation here, sitting in front of Sharpedo and Godak, since even with the rain up, I don't think either of the two can really do too much damage to Tapu Fini.
Especially after the Z move has already been burned.
Yep. And okay, Ryan Chiam choosing to protect his Porygon Z here, playing the safe out that he should, and choosing to sacrifice Aerodactyl here to Sharpedo. Not exactly bad, since that would allow him to bring in either Tapu Fini or Snorlax, which we are inclined to believe he would have brought in this game, which would put him in a pretty decent position to close up the game. Sharpedo is going to fall to perhaps even a Dazzling Gleam from Tapu Fini, really. It's so frail. And Godak has taken a bit of damage earlier, I believe, so it's not really going to enjoy facing out against Tapu Fini.
And right now with the rain gone, and Uchiyo's water attacks wouldn't be boosted by the rain anymore, and with the Porygon Z at +1 defense, Waterfall wouldn't be able to take out the Porygon Z, and even it's a double target from both the Godak and the Sharpedo. Porygon Z is is still bulky thanks to the +1 defenses that it has.
Yeah, Yochiyu definitely gonna have to play to perhaps his flinch chances right now. Although that even then that's not really a very safe position to be in, since he has to really time he has to play his flinches really carefully, since Tapu Lele is on the field exerting a lot of offensive pressure right now from Ryan's side.
Yes, Tapu Lele's Psychic Terrain also blocks the chance of it aqua jetting into either of Ryan's Pokemon.
That's true.
Tapu Lele also, and thanks to the Psychic Terrain, Psychic will do a lot of damage to the and just take out the Golduck this turn.
Yeah, we do see Sharpedo go for another Protect here. I guess wanting to scout out exactly what Ryan's Tapu Lele is gonna do. Golduck going for Protect as well here, so definitely wanting to scout out.
And stalling out the last turn of Tailwind.
That's true, although I'm not sure how much damage, how much help that would be in this case anymore, since Golduck's speed boost is gone, since the rain has ended.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we do see Ryan's Tailwind expire here, which means that Lele could possibly... Actually, I don't think it changes much really, since we can expect Golduck to be slower than both Porygon Z and Lele, possibly.
Ryan's Tapu Lele is actually scarfed because it went before the boosted Porygon Z.
Oh, that's a smart catch. I didn't really notice that there. Which means, yeah, it really doesn't change anything for Yochiyu at all.
Yeah. Tapu Fini does hit the field, cancelling out the Psychic Terrain, and which will then lower the damage on Tapu Lele. However, Porygon Z, with its boosted +1 Adaptability Thunderbolt, you will really like think that Yochiyu is still in a very difficult position. And
yeah, Ryan chose to go all out with Psychic there actually, instead of perhaps a Moonblast into Sharpedo.
It will locked itself into Psychic because last time he wanted to take out the Golduck.
Yeah, but at the same time, locking himself into Psychic means he doesn't have the option of damaging Sharpedo, which isn't exactly perhaps the best play. And perhaps Ryan should have been played a bit more conservatively there, accounting for the possibility that Tapu Fini switches in. Since now his Lele isn't exactly in a very good position here, it won't be able to take out Tapu Fini with another Psychic, and it's not going to be able to do any damage to Sharpedo at all.
Yeah. And Sharpedo and Porygon Z will most likely go down to Sharpedo, as we've seen from the previous waterfall damage.
I think he can take one more, but at the same time, that's still risking a flinch, which I wouldn't be very comfortable at all doing if I were Ryan Chiam.
However, the Snorlax does come in, and Yochiyu protecting with the Sharpedo, while Ryan Chiam also protects with the Porygon Z.
Not entirely sure what he was going for there, since or perhaps he didn't catch that Ryan Chiam's Tapu Lele was probably holding the Choice Scarf, since Sharpedo was relatively safe, since it could go for an attack onto Porygon Z and wouldn't be able to take any damage from Tapu Lele, since Tapu Lele was locked into Psychic.
However, the Surf does very little damage to the Snorlax, and
wait, was that a Surf? I actually didn't notice. I thought it was a Muddy Water. It's a Surf?
It's a Surf. So
that explains the Gastrodon on his team, I guess.
And why Sharpedo protected, because you don't want Sharpedo to die that early.
True, I spoke too soon.
Go into the Porygon Z and taking it out.
It's gonna be enough to take it out after all.
Tapu Fini goes for the Moonblast onto the Snorlax, but Snorlax can just safely go for the Stockpile now and store out Yochiyu essentially.
Very interesting set on that Tapu Fini there. We've seen that it took so much damage from Ryan Chiam's own Tapu Fini, and now we see that it actually has Surf instead of the more conventional option of Muddy Water.
Yes.
Kind of limits Yochiyu's options here, since he can't so freely abuse a Spread Water move without potentially hurting his own Pokemon. But with the last one as Golduck, I don't think that's too significant anymore.
But right now, Chiam switches in his Tapu Lele and has terrain control. He can freely Psychic into any of Yochiyu's Pokemon. And with Snorlax sitting at relatively at around like 60%, another attack going into the Snorlax will proc his berry, and Chiam can choose to either stockpile or he will choose to stockpile here and just store Yochiyu.
That's true. I think Tapu Lele can single-handedly close out this game for Ryan Chiam right now, since it's both faster and thanks to Psychic Terrain now being up, would be able to take out Tapu Fini with a Psychic. We see Yochiyu choosing to protect Tapu Fini here, recognizing that, but I think we're going to see Psychic into Golduck. Yep, that should take it out, since we've seen that Golduck is holding a Z Crystal. Not enough actually, that's quite surprising.
It's a bulky Golduck. However, the berry does proc on Snorlax, bring it back to very healthy health, and Snorlax recycles. So Yochiyu has to bang on hitting another attack on the Snorlax, and
perfectly timed recycle there, showing how annoying Snorlax can be in such situations really, and why it's such a dominant force in the metagame right now.
Tapu Lele can take out any of Yochiyu's Pokemon at this point.
Fortunate for Ryan there making that read, since it basically means he didn't really lose much from Yochiyu's Tapu Fini choosing to protect, and that should be a very, very clean finish for Ryan right now, since I think Tapu Lele would survive this next turn to get off another attack onto Tapu Fini, and with Snorlax sitting so
Definitely.
healthily, it's definitely going to be able to close up the game.
And especially if Snorlax still has the berry up.
Indeed. Return coming off, that's definitely going to be enough for Psychic to take out Tapu Fini at this point, and it's pretty much the end of the set, I would say.
I would say this set is very well played from both players, as both of them actually cleanly destroyed each other in their respective wins, and using that information in this third game to pivot their teams around.
Definitely an exciting match, I would say. The way Ryan Chiam managed to come back in game 2, and Yoshiryu, though honestly slightly handicapped by his unorthodox team, since it kind of forced his Sharpedo to have to play a bit more defensively in order for him to get damage off with Tapu Fini with Surf. But at the same time, we did see him show some sense of adaptation, and it was quite interesting to watch in Game 3 how he chose to switch things up, leading with Sharpedo and recognizing that Sharpedo actually would be able to exert quite a lot of offensive pressure into Ryan Chiam's relatively frail team.
Thanks to all its speed boost that it got up.
Yeah, Yoshiryu recognized in Game 2 that he lost because he lost the speed control on the field, and brought his main option of achieving that in Sharpedo in Game 3, which is quite interesting to see because we don't really see Sharpedo ever being used in VGC much this year, especially not. We haven't seen it at all already, so we didn't really know what to expect, and that was an interesting show of what Sharpedo can do thanks to its ability speed boost, and Yoshiryu definitely playing it as well as he could to secure an advantageous situation for him, even though it didn't quite work out in the end.
Yeah.
Perhaps he was actually, you could even say he was just one flinch away from seizing momentum there, which would have been very significant, but Ryan Chiam fortunate enough to avoid the 230% chances that would have cost him his game in both the Skull Burn turn 1 and the Waterfall later on in the game.
Yes, very well played by both players at the end of the day. And yeah, we hope that both players will go on the day playing, like having good results today.
I think we're going to be able to have Ryan Chiam up for an interview shortly. So stay tuned, and just we'll be back shortly with an interview, I believe. Hi everyone, and yes, we are back here with Ryan Chiam, who was the victor of his round 1 Swiss match as we've seen on stream earlier. First of all, congratulations, Ryan. That was quite an interesting set to play, I must say.
Thanks, Isaac.
Not really the norm for you to fight a monotype team in a VGC tournament, and you definitely seemed rather thrown off at the beginning by I think his Pelipper outspeeding your Porygon Z. Were you expecting that, or?
Yeah, actually I was predicting Pelipper to have Focus Sash, so when it was Scarf Pelipper I was quite shocked. So I was playing on the mentality that Pelipper was Sash.
Oh, so Alan and I were actually speculating what item Pelipper was holding, since we could not really be sure given the information we had here, whether it was holding a Choice Scarf. It did seem a bit faster than we anticipated to be, but we kind of attributed that on stream to your Porygon Z perhaps running a bulkier, slower build. So, is your Porygon Z usually meant to outspeed Pelipper?
Yeah, I think it's meant to outspeed Pelipper because as you know, Pelipper base speed isn't that high even with max speed. So, turn 1, right, I Sky dropped the Golduck, and then I was expecting to outspeed Pelipper the next turn, but then I was taken off guard when the Pelipper outspeed my Porygon and killed it off. So, it sort of threw me off game 1.
I see.
Everything went downhill from there.
That makes a lot of sense then, and you clearly adapted very well to that game too, recognizing that perhaps your best option was to go for the Tailwind to gain the speed advantage instead. And game 3 was I imagine you must have been a bit taken aback to see Sharpedo sitting there, since you probably were aware that Sharpedo could boost its speed with Speed Boost and would make the game a very difficult one to play, since you clearly seized game 2 with speed control instead. How do you feel seeing Sharpedo on the field that turn?
Yeah, I do know that Pelipper, I mean Sharpedo has speed boost, so maybe I could have taken it out earlier in the game, so it won't sit there and just gain speed. So and then just spamming waterfall in the late game. So maybe I could improve on that. So yeah, Sharpedo isn't that common in the meta game, so it's a bit maybe a bit hard to play around with. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm also quite interested in your choice to bring Tapu Lele in the last game over Tapu Fini, since Tapu Fini's typing would actually give it a much stronger matchup against most of your Chiu's team. Just curious, why Tapu Lele?
Oh, because Tapu Lele offers me a chance to get rid of Scarf Pelipper, because in the event that my Aerodactyl couldn't set up Tailwind, at least I can fall back on Lele to get rid of Pelipper. Yeah,
I see.
that's my rationale.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a bit more sense then.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Tapu Lele was scuffed after all.
Yeah.
Okay then, congratulations on pulling out a win in this set, and we hope to see you do better this tournament, and perhaps we'll see you back on stream later in the tournament.
Alright, thank you.
All the best.
Alright, thanks.